Hello viewers, so here we are then looking at the Forza Horizon demo. Many of you will have downloaded it yesterday and been playing it throughout the night. It's first chance for you all to have a hands on. It's always very handy when you've got a demo to have a go on. It's not just me rambling on about it, you've actually got some feedback and you can give that to me of course on these videos, and of course that's read by the developers as well. Now the first thing I've recorded here is the opening screens, and very nice they are too. Look at the graphics, I mean they do look absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere, the glow of the sunlight, you know, Forza really, they've always had great graphics engine. Well, I say they've always, Forza 2 was a bit dodgy, but since then it's all moved on a long way, and certainly working with the atmosphere and the people, we can only imagine what the next generation of gaming is going to look like on the new formats when it eventually gets here. And I do really feel that Forza Horizon, dare I say it, the view is looking at the horizon of video game development and future locations as to where they could run some of the future sort of races and everything else. I mean, there's some great ideas that have already been bandied about on forums such as Japan, everything else. Just imagine that, some of the worlds of drifting they could make and everything for the different drivers. So graphically it looks great. Roads, obviously they've covered all that, nice winding roads. And here we are just looking at a bit of the intro. So you go into the demo, then you do your first bit of driving and you go to a location. I'm using the wheel on these videos, and already I'm looking forward to hearing some of your feedback on the wheel. I haven't found the wheel very easy to use at all, and this video is just going to look at a little bit of implementation. I didn't see a linearity control or anything like that on the wheel to alter sensitivity, but it's oversensitive for me. And if you alter the turning circle, it doesn't necessarily change the initial sensitivity. It's almost like a speed sensitivity, if you like, and needs to be altered slightly. So I found it difficult to drive, and also some of the grip under traction also quite challenging to drive as well. Loading times on the whole haven't been too bad in the game. It really does depend, but as we can see, the showroom here again, it's got that kind of Top Gear feel to it. But again, I just thought I would leave it on here for you guys. Some of you may have not seen the demo yet, looking forward to the final game, and you know, again, this is all just an example of car porn, as they say. It really is a fantastic image that they show. I mean, the depth of these models now, I mean, it's basically perfect, and you know, this is only going to get better and better and better on the new generation. And it's nice to see that they can take models of that quality, and that's the absolute quality you're going to be using on the new formats in the future. It really is going to be absolutely stunning. Even just now, just having a wander around, I just like to leave us on these camera views for a moment. Just look at the marvel of the details and the bodywork, especially the lights, you know, the headlights and the brake lights. You know, they really do look absolutely fantastic. The motion blur there as we look through the windscreen, see all the detail in the car as it should be. A loving amount of work has gone into these and creating them. So enough of that, let's just change the colour of the car. I've gone for a white car because often in replays, I thought there was a replay when I did this. Obviously this is one of my first goes, and away we go. So away from the line, you can see in the top left corner, that's playing with the control pad. Bottom right corner is a replay of what I've actually got on the screen, just to give you an idea of the direct feed. And of course there you can see me using the wheel as well. So I like to try out the wheel because not many people have had the chance to use it yet and use the many different wheels. And straight away, I'm not at all comfortable with the handling on this demo. I will need to play the final game. I have received the final game now, so I'll be testing that out tomorrow. But for now then, it's just really just to have a test on the wheel, see how I found the demo. Now I'd be interested to hear your feedback on the wheel at the moment. Certainly I found that despite I left ABS on because I found with ABS off the wheels were just locking up for me constantly. Even with ABS on, I'm still finding my wheels locking up, curiously, which is a bit strange. So I'm not getting the car, you know, having played a lot of the rallying recently, I was trying a similar sort of technique of sort of punching the brake, as it were, to get the back end out and then use the power on the corner, and it wasn't quite working for me. In fact, I found that if I was sliding the car, it just seemed to get away from me all the time. I couldn't really see any kind of limit of control. So I'm actually tippy-toeing all the way around here. Now this isn't too bad. What I've done is I've had like 2 drives on the wheel and 2 drives on the pad, or I think 1 drive on the pad even. I think it was pretty simple. I mean, the pad is really easy to just pick up and play, but the wheel is not. It's a whole different story. And so I just wanted to look at a comparison of times. A little bit wide there. Of course, this is still tentative because I don't really know how it will handle. See, I wanted the car on the other side, but I just couldn't place the car where I wanted to place it. And again, hit the brakes and the car just goes wide. It doesn't turn in any way. You know, I want them to get the back end out at times like that and control a power slide, and I just don't seem to be able to do it. Either way, though, it does look good for video purposes, filming with the wheel, and it certainly makes it look like an enjoyable ride. Certainly more to watch than it was to play. As we come through these sections now and eventually onto the tarmac, and suddenly that smoothness comes through the wheel, and it's all much easier. Of course, on the pad, you know, I've seen a few people mentioning the lack of rumble, and I've noticed that myself. There isn't a lot of rumble on the pad. I can't honestly remember what it was like at the preview event, but I will try it on the final game, give you guys some feedback. So around these final couple of corners then, over the line, and that was the first part of the demo. Quicker on the pad. One go on the pad compared to 3 crashes and a go on the wheel. It's not ideal. Let's try with a different car. And again, this is a much more like drifty car. It likes to get the back end out. You've got to control the back end round the corners. Otherwise, you have to be very progressive. Now, I can't slide with this, slide, drift, whatever, with this car with the wheel. I just found it impossible. With the pad, easy. You can drift around every corner. With the wheel, no. It just gets up, just completely loses control. It just snaps away from you every time. So certainly here, I've got some issues with the handling on the brakes, some tippy toeing. Please turn in, wheel. That's it. Oh dear. And the car just decided to spin out. I had no idea what to do there, really. I tried everything to try and keep control of the car. And so now I'm thinking, right, if I slide the car even the slightest, so let's just go really slow around the corners. And it's on tracks like this where you see the biggest difference between wheel usage and pad usage at the moment. It just can't compete with the wheel. So you can see the pad is already several seconds ahead due to that crash earlier. I'm trying to keep it relatively clean, but not too slow, but just don't have the confidence to get on the power, because if I do, the car's just going to spin out. And the pad is now a good bit ahead now. Making it nice and slow around here. Trying not to slide the car at all. If the car goes into a slide, completely loses control. So I can't slide it at all. Again, very progressive. See, now with cars that don't want to go around corners, it's very difficult driving smoothly, I can tell you. This required a lot more concentration than most games, just trying to keep it on the straight and narrow. And so far so good. So apart from that earlier incident, it makes it look relatively clean, but the pad is really showing the way forward here. Oh, and again the car just decided to oversteer. Just no real feeling of control, no feeling of the car losing control. No, the car just wouldn't go where I wanted it to. And this was the thing for me time and time again with the wheel. I just felt that the wheel just wasn't putting the car where I wanted to. The car was moving about, floating around. I'm sure lots of you watching may have had a better experience, so I welcome seeing your videos testing the wheel. I mean, I'm sure if I practiced lots and lots I could get more out of it. Certainly as initial impressions, as you can see, wasn't enjoying this run at all, and just wasn't getting any feedback, wasn't getting any feeling from it. So certainly for the pad it's a different story. But as ever, I'll be on the full game. This is part 1 of the demo review, but I'll be having part 2 up and then working on the game from there, besides some other coverage as well, as the car then just loses it as well in the final corner. But I've left all this in here for you guys just to see what I was dealing with in trying to get it around the course, rather than just doing a clean run, just to show you that's what you can expect. But that's it from me for now, viewers. As ever, there'll be more on Forza Horizon and many other titles very soon.